Hey, hey, it's a wrap, and it's episode 13.
Oh, that hurt me.
Oh, it hurt me too.
Yeah.
Hey, you're on. Hey, if you've just joined us, we're glad you're here. And if you're a returning regular, if you're regular, or even if you're irregular, welcome.
I'm regular.
I know that's a good thing too.
Twice in the morning,
Twice.
every time.
That's it's funny you say that because me too, and it's good.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
anyway, he's John Eden. I'm David Novak. We're writer actor type people, and we do this this funny little weird podcast. And here we are. It's episode number 13. That means that we've done 13 episodes now.
Sure. Yeah.
Isn't that weird?
That's exciting. I think that's more. I think that's more episodes than some TV shows.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
So there you go.
Happy 2 days after Easter, John.
Yeah, Wait, I have a shout out to the Pratt Brothers Christmas. I'm wearing their sweatshirt. I wanted to shout out to them because I know they're fans of the show. So.
Yeah, and can you give us like a 15-second synopsis on who they are?
Pratt Brothers run a little Christmas extravaganza there during Christmas in Arizona. They're Chandler, Arizona. They have a little thing going on every year. This will be no different this year, and it's filled with lights. They were the winners of, I think it's the 2021 light spectacular that Disney does every year. What's it called? Light Fight, Great Light Fight.
Yeah, it was on a network channel too.
Yeah, it still is.
ABC, I think.
Yeah, it's ABC.
Is it ABC? Yeah, okay. I thought and it's Kyle and Sam, right?
Kyle and Sammy. So,
Kyle
dudes, my brothers from another mother.
Yeah, exactly.
And their mom is a nice lady too. Their dad's great. The whole family is really good. They're good people. The whole group of them are good people.
Did you have a nice Easter, John?
I did. That it's good that you do that. We bring up the Easter because Easter is right around Passover, and I celebrate Passover because I'm hedge my bets from the Messianic side, and it's. I think Passover is one of there's 7 feasts in the Bible that Leviticus talks about that I always asked myself when I was younger, and I was originally, I got married to a different person, and we weren't married anymore, but she was Jewish, and we were together for a long time, and I always, I wasn't very big Christian back then, but I would as our relationship moved along, and we kept celebrating Passover and other celebrations. I asked myself this question because it says it shall be done for all time. That's what the Bible says to the Jewish people. And when Jesus came, there was an intent for the Jewish people to believe in the Messiah. And so I wondered, they would be celebrating these whether you were Jewish or not, and I wondered why Christians didn't. But Passover is one of those because it was his last meal just before he dies and then is resurrected.
You're talking about Jesus?
About Jesus, yeah. That is the beginning of Passover. He has his Passover dinner with his disciples, and then he is hung on the cross. But that Passover time goes all the way through there. And then first fruits is involved. So there's some pretty interesting things that happen right around that time, very important things. But the idea of that feast has so much messianic mixtures in it, not just because it was the meal that Jesus had, but the Passover itself with the blood covering the doors and the angel of death passing over those that the blood covered, which is a very big symbol of who Jesus and what Jesus does for us, so that we are not subject to death, that we continue to live on with him in glory. So Passover is a really cool time, and it ended right at Easter this year, which is pretty cool. And so we had Easter and we had Passover, and it's a great celebration. I think it's something that if you're a Christian, it's something you should look at least that one. There's several other ones, but that feast alone, I think, is one of. It's the first one. It's the beginning of the Jewish people as a people.
Hmm.
They're this is the first. They to mark this as their first month, their first time together. This is when they first form as a people. So it's a very important, you know, feast on their end, and for us, it has so many messianic kind of things that go along with it. That's pretty cool. So to
Yeah,
look into it, even the Seder itself, which is the dinner, like it's a celebration, and you read out of the Haggadah, which is a booklet that has the story that's it's about 2,000 years old, even though the celebration goes way back to the beginning of the Jewish people. About 2,000 years ago, they came up with the Seder, which is like the order of things. And when Jesus does his, he has the wine, he has the bitter herbs, and he has the stuff that I can't remember the name of it now off the top of my head, but it's like this mixture of sweet and bitter together, and the wine and the bread, and that was kind of what they had. That's what was mandated at that very first to remind them of where they came from and everything, and that all has messianic uh, identifications with it as well. But now it's gotten a little bit bigger. There's, you know, because there's no more sacrifice at the temple, there's no more temple. So they've developed kind of a 2,000-year-old Seder that's been going on for
Hmm.
2,000 years. The same
Wow.
one. It's been going on for 2,000 years. And all that whole Seder has so much, you know, it's so wonderful to celebrate it just from a straight Jewish tradition. The idea of remembering the plagues, and every time they do a plague, they dip their fingers in the wine and they take out a little bit of the wine, because the wine is this sweetness, a celebration. It's
Mhm.
the prosperity of the Jew, you know, all that happens. But you take a little bit out because people suffered in order for the Jews to be free. There was a lot of suffering. So every time a plague is met, and that suffering is something that they remember as well, that people suffered during this time.
Mm.
So there's so much about that. And when you really read in it, you go and dive into it, not even from a messianic perspective, but from just a Jewish perspective, and understanding the messianic influences and all these things, it's so eye-opening in your worship to God that it's awesome to me. So
Here's a little tidbit that I just picked up the other day. In the Bible, when John and oh gosh, who's the other one that
Peter?
ran to the tomb? That ran to the
Oh,
tomb.
yeah, Peter and John.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, but when they get to the tomb, Peter just looks in, but then John actually goes in, and if I got that right, and there's two angels sitting there, right? And the napkins, actually the linens that had covered Jesus, one on the head and one in the body, they were folded very neatly and put in certain positions in the head and the foot, you know, on the slab where Jesus was. And there were two angels there. Well, this is something I just got the other day, that in the Jewish tradition, if you were at a meal and you didn't like the meal, there was a certain way that you would fold your napkin to let the host know that you did not like the meal, but more importantly, that you would never eat this meal again.
Wow.
Now, the napkin that was placed on, that Jesus, when Jesus rose from the dead, the napkins were similarly placed and folded, so he will never eat that meal of death again.
Wow.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
I just thought that just blew me away when I heard that.
Yeah.
That he will never eat that meal of death again, because he
That's
rose
pretty
for
cool.
once. Yeah, I thought that
Well,
was
you know, the other cool
tremendous.
thing is that on the ark there are two angels
Yes, I was
that are
going to
sitting
bring
at
that up too.
lampstands. So
Yes.
it's also pretty cool.
Yeah.
What it kind of also you could I mean, you could go on forever, but the
Yeah.
fact that the curtain is split open,
Mhm,
allowing anyone to be able to see through that, which was
mhm.
it was a barricade that nobody was allowed to go into. But
Yeah.
now that is basically empty.
Right.
And the same thing here, it's almost like it's kind of saying the same thing, that
Mhm.
here they are in the two angels at either end, and now
Yeah, and
ark
the
is
slab is kind of like the mercy seat with
right,
the
and
yeah,
it's
exactly.
empty.
So yeah, exactly,
Yeah,
and
so
that's
it
so
was
cool,
it's pretty cool. It was
right?
Peter that it's John that beats him to the entrance.
John beats
Peter
him.
goes in.
Yes, because of the apostle that Jesus
Jesus
loved,
loved.
and
Yeah,
it's funny because John is the one that's writing John, and
yeah.
and he says
He
numerous
never
times
mentions his name,
he
but
doesn't mention his
he
name.
always brags about his
He says
relationship.
the disciple that Jesus loved, and he
Yeah.
also goes out of his way to say that the disciple that Jesus loved ran faster than Peter.
Faster than
It
Peter.
got
Yeah,
there first, right?
yeah,
I
yeah.
think that's kind of funny.
But
So.
if you watch The Chosen, they actually make a joke about how Peter's not a runner.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah,
I heard that just
pretty
the other
funny.
day. So, okay, you ready for this?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
here it comes.
Oh, wait. No, wait.
What? No. Oh,
No, because with Easter
what?
comes the Pope.
Oh, okay.
Got to hold off on that one because that is a big one.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
there.
All right. Okay. Goodness.
The
So, as you
Pope
know,
passed away.
the Pope Francis, yes, Pope Francis has passed away, and he succeeded Pope Benedict the 16th. But Pope Francis passed away the day after Easter. I think it was something like 7:30 a.m. Eastern time. So in
But
Italy, it would have been a little bit earlier in the morning, I think, right? But what?
he actually gave the whole he did the sermon from the balcony there
Yeah, on Easter Sunday.
on Easter Sunday. So
Yeah,
what a way to go.
I know. I thought
You
that.
do your little thing. It's like I wonder I wonder this because I remember when Jody's wife grandmother was passing away. I just happened to be sitting next to her, and we were waiting for Tom because he was working up north with the Habitat for Humanity, and he was supposed to be coming back down. And she was saying, "I really want to wait." She said, "I really want to wait for Tom, but I want to go home," is what she said. And it was like she saw where she was going, and I was like wondering if the Pope was like maybe the night before talked to God. He's like, it's time for you to come home, and he's like,
Oh,
can I
wow.
do the service? Let me do the service, because he's
And
been
what?
sick this whole
Yeah,
time,
right, I know.
and
Yeah.
but he manages to do the service, and then he goes back, and then he's like, okay, I'm done now, and
Yeah.
and then he goes home. So it's
Yeah.
pretty.
Well, that's pretty cool. I thought the timing was amazing.
Yeah, yeah.
So, and he was 88 years old. So,
Mhm.
he had a long life. And now the conclave is going to be meeting and, picking a new pope.
The conclave. That sounds dark and ominous.
The conclave. Yeah, I know, right? but they
Have you ever been to Italy?
well, I was just going, as you're telling this story, I'm sitting here thinking, and I was going to say it, and then I thought, well, I won't, but now I will since you brought that up. But yes, I've been to Italy, and when Kathy and I, and the family, we went to Italy a few years ago, and we went to Rome, and we went to other cities, but we were actually there, and this is like 8 years ago, I'm guessing, something like that. But we were actually there on Easter Sunday.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and the day before Easter Sunday, we were there, and they're bringing in this. It wasn't in Rome that we were. We were in Italy, but we were in one of the little towns, not too far from Rome. After we left Rome, but the priests and they did this procession through the streets, and they were, all the priests and altar boys and everything they did, and they bring in the cross through, I think it was, and all that through the streets the day before, or maybe it was Good Friday. But so then we decided, well, we're here in Italy on Easter Sunday. We got to go to church. I mean, right? We would anyway.
Well,
but yeah, I know we would anyway go to church, but we're here in Italy. I mean, how cool is this? And so we did go to a chapel there. I mean, it's kind of a cathedral type of thing. But I remember, and of course, the whole mass was in Latin and Italian. And I'm half Italian, but I don't speak a lick of it.
Yeah.
So we're sitting there, but I was raised Catholic as a kid. So I kind of knew what was going on, that type of thing. But it was just very cool to be in Italy on Easter Sunday a number of years ago. So
yeah. You look at that place though, and you can see how they can have an enclave in a little room in the back with smoke coming out of the top of the building.
Yeah,
Isn't
and
that
the
how
way
they do it? Like,
and well, the way it works out is that black smoke comes out of the chimney when they haven't
when they
decided
have a new
yet,
pope? Oh,
and
right.
and white comes out when they do. But they have, the way I understand it, I think I'm right, but they have to have a 2/3 majority. I think it's 2/3 plus one. I think is what I heard. To vote on the new pope. So
Wow.
anyway, and there's about a dozen or so. Not nominees. I don't know what they call them, but people that are in the running. We'll put it that way. So anyway, so it should be
It's like the
interesting.
Academy Awards for the pope.
Yeah. And now for best picture instead of
Yeah.
best picture,
Yeah,
best
runner-up.
pope would be, yeah. So anyway, Pope Francis was, he was pretty much a liberal
Yeah, he was.
pope. So, I'm kind of hoping that we have a little bit more conservative one next time, but I guess we don't need to get into all that, but hey,
It is what it is.
yeah, it is what it is. So,
is.
yeah, so
It's the pope.
it's the Pope. Yeah, absolutely. So, and
All right,
if
you had a little bit of excitement. Oh, go ahead.
well, I was just going to say, because there's a number of delegates that could be the Pope. So, I guess they would call that a potpourri. I just. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I know.
Anyway.
Okay. All right.
All right. Moving on.
Okay, moving on. Moving on. You ready?
Yes, I am. Oh, there it is.
Did you get that? Okay.
I got it.
All right. So we live in South Carolina.
Yes, you do.
Now, all of a sudden, we moved from LA area, Orange County, actually in Southern California. We moved here 6 months ago, almost to the day, I think. But one of the things that they have here in South Carolina that are not common to us in California, they have some wildlife here, and in the tract that we live in. Well, you know what? Rather than just to talk on and on about it, I'm just going to share something with you here that I think you'll kind of dig.
You're gonna show us a deer or something like that.
You would think it would be like a deer. So anyway, so here we go.
Whoa, there you go. Now there's a dog for the neighborhood. Holy mackerel!
Yeah,
Holy cow.
Yeah. You believe that?
That just kind of wanders off.
I know. I'm gonna let you watch it one more time there.
Holy cow! That is an animal. And so what's happening there? What's going on there with all that?
Okay, so what's going on with all that? Okay, so Kathy and my wife and I are driving back from going to the store or whatever we're going to, and we're driving into our track, and she's looking off the other way. She's not paying attention to, she's just looking the other way. And I'm driving, all of a sudden, that's what I see, and I jam on my brakes, and she didn't.
Let me be Kathy for a minute. Oh, David, what are you doing?
Pretty much. Yeah, that's pretty much. I says, look at that. And she looks at it. She said, oh my gosh. And so I whip out the camera or my phone, and I start recording. And so what's going on is that, and I wish I had shot the video a little bit, more so, because on one side, he was coming from a lagoon, crossing the street and going to another lagoon. Because at this time of year in Carolina, the East Coast, it's mating season for alligators. It's mating season. So he's basically looking for love. He's looking for a girlfriend.
Sure. So he's going from he's going to the sorority pond.
He's going to this. Yeah, he's coming from the frat house.
From the frat house to the sorority pond.
To the sorority pond, right.
Pick up a chick.
Yeah, pick up a chick.
That's how I got my wife.
Yeah.
I went to another pond.
You went to another pond.
And I picked her out of the pond.
And that dude had to be, well, you saw the video. I'm guessing he was about 7 foot long.
That's a pretty big little guy there.
Yeah, I know. And in our track, I think there's like 8 or 9 lagoons, ponds, whatever you want to call it. And I was told there's like 7 or 8 different alligators. And so we see them regularly, but not crossing the street. I mean, you
Yeah.
know, but if you notice the 20-mile-an-hour sign, he was sticking to the.
Sure. Good
Yeah,
for him.
he was not speeding.
Yeah, because
Because
you'll end up getting a little fine for that, like
alligators that
$25.
speed, they turn into shoes or belts or something like that.
That's what I would, that'd be
Oh,
a couple
man.
of dollars right there.
Yeah, I
You're
know,
thinking
but
about.
that was crazy though.
Up a
So I wish I
camera.
had showed the two lagoons in the video, but
Yeah.
all of a sudden it's like, get your camera out and start
Well,
shooting. And I'm not thinking about the lagoon. I'm thinking,
right. There's a
get
couple
the
things going
alligator.
on there. Like, is he going to eat my children? Is he going to eat my dog?
I know. Isn't that crazy?
That's a big animal right there.
Yeah, and I just for kicks, after I shot that, I thought, I should put this up on Facebook. And I wasn't trying to get views or anything. And I threw it up on what do you call it, YouTube, also just for kicks, and I
Wow.
got thousands of views, thousands. And I didn't even care about that, but I just thought, well, that's funny.
Maybe you should get eaten by an alligator, and maybe that'll get us 1,000 views.
Yeah, I could. Yeah, we could shoot that video.
Oh, okay, all right. Let's do that next time.
Yeah.
But wait, before we leave.
Yes,
unofficial sponsor.
We do. Yeah. Wait. I was trying to give us a transition.
Well.
Okay.
Well,
Gee, sorry.
There it is. DiGiorno Pizza.
DiGiorno Pizza.
Right there, DiGiorno Pizza, the original rising crust DiGiorno Pizza. And what I love about this DiGiorno Pizza is that it has fresh baked taste, because it is freshly baked in your oven. And just in case you were not sure if this was really a pizza, it does have also mixed in there fresh baked aroma.
Oh.
So
fresh,
you get some.
Nice.
It has 3 meats. This one in particular is a 3 meat. This is not delivery. Just so in case you were mistaken, they're going to tell you right up on top, it's not the delivery. And then it's got instructions for everybody right there. So it's they're good for the agriculture too, because they're helping agriculture. But wait, this is even better. Have thoughtful portions. So they have thoughtful portions. One piece, and then with that have a fresh green salad. It's great company together.
There you go. And I can attest, because I've had DiGiorno, and it is really pretty good pizza. I mean, seriously, it is. It's
fresh baked with a fresh baked aroma. Oh, there it is.
And you can get that at most of your stores, including Costco, I understand.
That's right. So, most of your stores where this podcast is seen.
Yes. And if on my other show, it's all about relationship, which is a Christian podcast. I always say at the end of the show, if this message has blessed you, please share it with a friend. Well, on our show, if this message has made you laugh or cry or anything, share it with a friend. Just share it on,
and maybe with a slice of.
And with a slice.
Yes, because we want thoughtful portions.
We want thoughtful portions
between you and your friends.
I think we might be good.
I think we've given the people all that they can stand of us.
And all that we can stand of each other, I think. Oh, yeah. It's a wrap. Episode 13. Share with your friends.
Bring it on. And if you have comments, throw them in the comment section.
It's a wrap.
There we go.
Okay, I don't